Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer, and just like we do every Thursday, I'm going to take a question from one of you guys and do my best to answer it to help you out with the audiences and the channels that you are growing here on YouTube. This question is from Christine Does Drama on Twitter, and she tweeted me and asked this. You probably get this question a lot, but is it true that you can use 30 seconds of any song in your YouTube video? Christine, I know that is like a common thing that a lot of people talk about and believe to be true, but it is absolutely 100% not true. Whoever tells you that is clearly not familiar with copyright law, and you can definitely get into trouble even just for using 1 second of a copyrighted music or sound effect or anything that doesn't actually belong to you. However, instead of just leaving you hanging without a big disappointment, someone from the video creators community here, B. Chambers from the Alloy 7 video YouTube channel, is here with us to tell you how you can use copyrighted content, whether it's music or gaming footage or, movie clips, whatever the case may be, how you can actually use those legally and be in the clear on your YouTube channel. Here he is.
Hey, what's up, fellow creators? My name is B. Chambers from Alloy 7 Video, and I'm mostly known for doing gaming reviews, gaming editorials, and also tutorials for people on how to run a gaming channel here on YouTube. So the first step in monetizing the videos that you create that use material that's copyrighted by someone else is very simply to determine who the copyright owner is. And in the realm of games, movies, and TV, that's usually pretty easy. With games, it's usually the game's developer or the game's publisher that owns the copyright. When it's not, usually a Google search will figure that out for you, or even Wikipedia. I've also done some legwork on alloy7.com. I'll have a link to the specific page in the video description that shows you all of the copyright owners that I reached out to and what their answers were. When it comes to movies and TV shows, it's usually very easy to determine that because the people that own the movie or the TV show, it's found on their website. When you step into the realm of music, it gets a little bit more complicated, and this is actually why I don't recommend trying to use other people's copyrighted music in your videos. Let's say a bunch of artists came together and made the song that you're trying to use in your video. Who owns the copyright? Is it the record label? Both artists may come from a different record label. Do the writers, do the composers, do the people performing the song own the rights? A lot of times that's nigh impossible to determine. And to take it a step further, when you start talking about content ID matches, take for instance the album that I put out about 2 years ago. Even if I gave you written permission today, signed by me, that said you could use every song on my album in your video, I can guarantee you that you would get a content ID match. From cdbaby.com, that's who I went through to publish and to distribute my album. You'd have permission from me, but then you'd still have to deal with CD Baby in your back end, which means you'd have to get in touch with me and then get me to deal with CD Baby. It's a pain. So unless you're just really brave or for whatever reason just can't get away from using somebody's music in your video, I'd recommend that you just leave it alone. Okay, now that you've determined who the copyright owner is, the second step, and I'll admit that this second step is more related to gaming video creators than anyone else, but the second step is to go to the copyright owner's website, look to see if they have a terms of use that gives you permission to make and monetize YouTube videos. A great example of this is Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. Microsoft, in their terms of use online, gives you permission to make videos using their content as long as they're not offensive, but not to monetize the content. Activision Blizzard's website, on the other hand, gives you permission not only to make the videos, but also to monetize it. So if you're a gaming video creator that's trying to do something with an Activision Blizzard game, your work's done. It's right there online. I actually have links where you can find that on the alloy7.com website. But look around. If you found a game that maybe isn't on my website that you want to use, see if there's a terms of use out there that answers the mail. Okay, so you've determined who your copyright owner is. And in step 2, let's say you were not able to find any terms of use that gave you the permission you were looking for. Your third step in that case is going to be to find the best way to contact the copyright owner. And this is usually going to be through their website. They'll either have an email address to their PR or legal teams. That's the one you'll want to look for. Or they'll have an online form that you can fill out and direct to their legal or PR team, or maybe it's just a generic form that you fill out and send off to them. And that's usually what happens in the gaming world. I found that with movies and TV shows, say like Universal Studios, if you go to Universal Studios, they actually have a website dedicated to people like us who are trying to use their footage for commercial means. And you'd sign up on that website, you fill out the necessary forms, get access, and it's almost like an Amazon shopping cart where you can go in and pick, I'd like to get permission to use Jaws footage in my video, and you'd check out. And that's where I start talking about things like it may cost money. I've not gone all the way through that process, so I don't know if it costs or how much it costs, but that's the way a lot of the movie studios do it. And once you have all that knocked out, your next step is to actually contact your copyright owner via email, via the online form, or via the a la carte shopping line on universalstudios.com, and tell them that you'd like to use footage in your videos to put on YouTube and potentially to monetize that video using YouTube's partner program. I will have a link where you can find the email that I actually use to reach out to copyright owners. It's been very successful over the course of time that I've been using it. But you can take that email and you can slice it and dice it, do whatever you need to do with it to make it appropriate to the person that you're requesting a copyright from. Okay, brief side note. Understand that most of what I've been talking about here thus far centers around asking copyright owners for permission to use their materials via email. Understand that YouTube's automated system will not accept an email as proof of permission should you get a content ID match or a copyright strike. So here's what I suggest you do. When you request permission from the copyright owners, ask them to do one of two things. One, to post the permission on their websites. Get them to put something in a public space that YouTube system can go out and search and say, Roger that, good to go. Or ask them to send you actual signed documentation via email. Having not gone through the process with movie production companies, I'm going to assume that that a la carte shopping line that I was telling you about probably doles out some type of documentation. For those of you out there who have been through that process, be sure to leave us some commentary in the comments section confirming or denying that. Okay, and the fifth and final step is follow-up. I think a lot of you are going to be surprised by just how responsive some of these companies that you reach out to are. I know I was. Getting emails from people at Square Enix and a lot of the big name game producing companies out there was a surprise to me. But every once in a while, you're going to run into a company where they either don't get right back to you, or they'll get back to you and say, hey, we need more information. And when you give them that information, they may not get back to you. So the next thing to do is just simple, good old-fashioned follow-up via email or via the online form that they have available to you. And that's pretty much it, friends. That's how I usually walk people through how to monetize their channels. Again, I mostly focus on the gaming world. If any of you guys out there have questions specifically about gaming or any of the other stuff that I've talked about today, feel free to hit me up. I want to thank Tim Schmoyer for giving me the opportunity to come here to the video creators community and give you this information. I pray that you find it oh so useful in your endeavors out there. But I'd like, before I let you go, to ask you all a question. Are any of you out there having success getting permission from copyright owners and monetizing your channels using methods different from what I've shown here? If so, I would very much appreciate it if you would write in the comments section the steps that you've used to reach this conclusion successfully. Hopefully, we'll see you guys on the next Alloy 7 video, and especially on the next Video Creators Show. Until then, until all are one, this is BC from A7 Video signing off. Peace and Godspeed.